Hello, back again. At the request of a family member, I was asked to actually look into this case. Uh, it's another fatality, unfortunately, and the family believes that there was a cover up. I dug as deep into this as I could. I've got a lot of notes I've took. It was a pretty lengthy investigation, but we're going to talk about it. Uh, this happened to and I hope I say her name right, is Antoinette Brown. The location was an empty lot, Rutledge Street, near Trunk Avenue in South Dallas. This attack happened at approximately 4:30 a.m. in the morning. The moon was a waning crescent moon, which is almost a full moon again. She was a 52-year-old female. Cryptid suspected in the case is a dogman slash werewolf. The date this incident took place was May 2nd, 2016. Witnesses heard the attack and called 911 on the early morning hours. They heard this attack where Antoinette was being attacked. Uh, Nobody seen what was attacking Miss Brown, but they said it was an awful commotion, pretty bad fight. Sounded like bad enough people wouldn't go out there to help her because they felt like that their lives would be in danger. Several calls went into 911. Some of the neighbors believed that it was the dogs that all lived at the nearby home on Spring Street and had been loose terrorizing the neighborhood in the days leading up to the attack. I could not find any records of any call-outs on any vicious dogs in the area. Might have been, maybe not, but they don't have it listed in records, and most of the time they're required to do that. But the Dallas police turned to forensic testing and DNA testing from 7 dogs seized from Spring Street home over the Miss Brown attack. They went by what everybody told them. They thought, hey, it's going to be the dogs over there, so they immediately get search warrants, I'm assuming, and they go and they confiscate the dogs, do a 10-day lockup, which is protocol for a dog bite. Anyways, the dogs are seized. Months later, in October, Dallas police announced that detectives were unable to link the dogs to the attack through DNA testing and closed the case without filing criminal charges against the owner. So no charges were filed against the owner at this point. Police declined to answer questions in October about why DNA matches could not be made. They wouldn't talk to the press. They wouldn't even talk to the family. So members of the public also raised questions to Fox 4. We're going to save this part. We're going to come back to this. I don't want to use this right now. I want to, because this is going to give away what I want to tell you. Here you go. May 2nd, 2016 at 1:30 p.m., more than 9 hours after the attack, Dallas Police Department Detective Todd Hecker and his partner were dispatched to Baylor Medical Center. Hospital staff had requested assistance with a sexual assault nurse examiner, which is a SANE, sane examiner, forensic exam because the victim was found without several pieces of clothing, Miss Brown. So they're calling in people thinking that she may have been raped. If you have nurses, from what I've seen, what I've read, saying that somebody has been sexually assaulted, it's not just because they're missing clothes. I want to stop the speculation there. May 17th, 2016. The detective discussed the case over the phone with Dr. Melinda Merck, a forensic veterinarian. Talking to forensic veterinarians now. DNA from the victim and what they believe to be canine saliva is what they were talking about on the phone call. At 2:30 p.m., 10 hours after the attack, the detectives and his partner arrived at the scene of the attack. Physical evidence, PES, investigations arrived to process the scene, collect evidence, and to take photos. Now look, this is 10 hours after the attack, and it was raining that night. They waited 10 hours knowing it's raining out there, destroying evidence, destroying DNA. Not typical. It had poured down rain, and the field was a mess. The only reason they found the spot where the actual attack had happened is because they found the clothes laying in the area. It wasn't cordoned off. There was no evidence markers. There was nothing. 10 hours later. My opinion, they already knew what done it. And we'll get to that later. At the scene, evidence collected was gray sweatpants, an orange jacket, black Nike shoe, a blanket, and 2 hair pieces. May 6, 2016, 4 days after the attack, Dallas Animal Services seized and quarantined 6 dogs from Spring Street. PES examined the dogs. PES found what they believed to be biological fluid on 2 of the 6 dogs' snouts and paws. Also swabbed their nose for other DNA testing. Samples were sent to the Southwestern Institute of Forensic Sciences, SWIFT's, crime lab in Texas. May 7th got a warrant to keep the dogs past the normal 10-day period. So for some reason they decided they need to keep these dogs past the normal 10-day period that normally they're kept. May 9th, 7th dog was surrendered. They went and grabbed another dog off of the street. So they're grasping at straws right now. They don't know what's going on. They're hoping it's a dog. They're going by what the neighbors are saying. There's dogs running around. They're trying to get a simple, fast case. Dogs attack this lady, it's over. But they're not finding what they need to be able to put it on the dogs because they can't match it to her because it ain't a dog. You'll see why later. May 9, 2016, Miss Brown passed away at Baylor Medical Center as a result of her injuries. On May 10th, Dallas Police Department contacted DAS to have a buccal swabs, which is saliva, taken from all dogs. The test, negative for human blood, negative human DNA. The blood that was found on the dogs, cat, squirrel, and possibly other dogs. Wasn't human. May 17th, Jody Jones, then director of DAS, emailed police asking if the dogs could be euthanized. Why would you want to euthanize dogs that cannot be linked to the attack? That no DNA is linking them to them. They have no probable cause, reasonable suspicion to even euthanize these dogs. And they're already asking to kill these dogs. This happened in Oklahoma, down in Kiefer. Look at my video. They killed the dog. They burned him on Friday. Happened on a Wednesday. A lot of weird things. They get rid of these things depending on them, in my opinion. It's my opinion. DPD deputy. Oh, by the way. Jody Jones, the guy that requested to be able to euthanize the dogs, he was later demoted for some reason. You're going to see a lot of that start happening. Dallas Police Department Deputy Chief Robert Sherwin, who has since left the department. He's left the department, replied, "I understand you have a capacity issue, but according to both the district attorney and the city attorneys, should not be euthanized at this time." He's telling them don't kill the dogs. I mean, that's common sense. The dogs ain't done anything. You have an owner's dogs that nothing's even been linked back to them, and they're already wanting to kill these dogs. And so they can blame it on these dogs. Dallas Police Department Lieutenant Israel Herrera sent another email to Jones that same day, and he stated that dental casts need to be made of all dogs if they're euthanized. May 19, 2016, Chris Sweekard, the head of the Code Compliance, which oversees DAS, emailed Deputy Chief Sherwin. The email states, "Space is a big issue at the shelter, and we need to outcome these dogs ASAP. Space is a big concern. You have an investigation going on. These dogs, in their minds, have possibly killed somebody, If the shelter's full, why are you worried about these 7 dogs when you can get rid of a bunch of other dogs and make room? They're focused on wanting to get rid of these dogs. You can tell. Later that day, Deputy Chief Sherwin gave DAS written permission to euthanize at this time, after explaining, now listen to this, after explaining that dental casts will not be made after consulting with a forensic odontologist. I think you all know the answer to that one. October 31st, 2010, due to lack of evidence, case was closed. They don't even know what done it. They spent all this time trying to blame these dogs, trying to pin it on these dogs, and ended up killing the dogs, euthanizing the dogs, burning the dogs, and never even taking any impressions. So July 13th, 2016, Stephen Young, with the Dallas Observer, I apologize for the dog, guys, police officer stated, "I have seen a lot of dog bites, but nothing like these. It was raining the night she was attacked." And this is what I caught on to, what he said in his statement, and I thought it really stuck out to me. I don't know if anybody else noticed it, if it even means anything, but this is what he said. "It almost killed her. I never seen anything like this." Notice he doesn't say dogs. He doesn't say a pack of dogs. He doesn't say kangaroos. He doesn't say flock of geese. He said it. Singular. It killed her. "I never seen anything like this. She looked like she was attacked by a shark. Chunks of meat were ripped off of her. I mean, like her left leg was gone. Her bicep was missing." The lady was in shock. Where all this happened at was Parkdale. It was close to Parkdale Lake in Dallas, Texas. It's 254 miles of bike trails and hiking trails. It's about a mile east of attack scene. There is 710-mile long Trinity River that is 4 to 5 miles away from the Dogman sightings that are all happening in this area. This area is big for Dogman sightings. There's a lot of Dogman sightings in there. BFRO and other people's called into 911 reporting Dogman attacks, sightings, sounds, all the normal stuff. Out of all the cases I've done so far on this channel, and I've done some pretty good ones as far as what I felt was a cover-up or may not have been good detective work, however you want to look at it. It's not how we done it where I worked. It just shows that whenever these things happen, these people in their minds already have something that they're planning on making be the predator. It's going to be the predator. You can see how hard they tried here to match it to the dogs. I mean, they took 7 dogs, and out of the 7 dogs, they couldn't even get one sample to come back with her DNA or her blood on it. Now, when you're talking about a police officer that was on the scene that stated it looked like a shark had been biting her, a dog's mouth isn't the size of a shark. They don't do the damage a shark. He's talking about missing chunks of her. This is a large, strong, powerful mouth. And some people have been arguing with me on the page saying, well, it's coyotes. I live in the country. I've hunted coyotes all my life. A coyote cannot do that in one bite. A coyote's mouth is not that big. A coyote lacks the power to be able to bite your leg off. It doesn't have the wide grip of the bite of a shark would have. From what the deputy's describing, this is a horrendous scene. And then I can't help but wonder, what did he really see? Because later on he recants his statement and puts a pack of dogs. But when his first statement, and it was addressed to the city of Dallas, released by the city, he said, it. Think about that. Guys, I hope it brings peace to her family, and I hope I've done a good job in doing what she asked me to do, and that we can bring light of a cover-up. If it's not a cover-up, then at least she's she's out there. The main thing is the family. I think it don't add up. It's my opinion. We all have our own opinion, but there's so many things in here that just don't add up. The bites, all the sightings of dogmen in this area, 911 calls about it, BFRO, the nature of the attack, just the power of the jaws that attacked her, and the police officer's statement, it. And he also said it ran off into the woods, singular. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're out and about, be careful. I've been posting some of my outdoor videos on this page also to share them with y'all, because times are slow right now on some of these, and I just try to throw things out there. It's kind of the lighter side of us. If y'all are interested in our outdoor channel, I'll put the link in the description. Each and every subscription to those help us out. The kids love it, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Be careful, and if you do go out and look for these things, remember you may not be the only thing in the woods hunting. They may be hunting you. Be safe, and God bless.